And this one is for the sensitive, intuitive healers who have a bit of an inner conflict between the parts of themselves that really thrive in the world of the mysterious, mystical unknown, and the part of them that is very committed to being grounded, embodied, part of the world as it is, respected, and all of that. Let's get into it. This is the healer's journey. I'm your host, Inge, and this block is really about that inner war. On the one side, we know there's something deeply creative and magical in the inner worlds, also the worlds of the subtle, the energetic. We know that there's something in the world that is craving this connection, that needs it deeply. And yet, on the other side, you really want to live inside of the world. You want to hold your job. You want to have friends that maybe aren't so into these quote unquote woo things. You want to be grounded and present for your family. And you might be afraid because you've seen examples of this, maybe in your family or in people you grew up with, afraid to go too far into the woo land and lose connection with the here and now. So my personal background with this is that when I started learning energy healing, it was a huge revelation for me because I was sort of naturally good at it. And don't get me wrong, I'm naturally good at a lot of things, but this was like a coming home. It was like using a part of my nervous system that was by me, for me. It was plugging into all the things I'd always felt but was never aware of seeing, of being plugged into. It was like I was able to finally create some inner structure that I deeply needed. Because before then, I'd really been just plugged into the outside world, just latching on to any structure I could find, hoping to find structures that would work for me, but never creating from the inside out, never really making my own path in the world. So there was a time where I was working at the energy healing school I was learning at. I was studying there, and I was going back to more traditional school, doing a master's in neuropsychology. And I had such deep grief around the two worlds not speaking. I would cry about it. Truly, I would have this like such a deep sense that the two worlds, neuropsychology and energy healing, were actually incredibly deeply connected and intertwined, but they couldn't have been more opposite and apart in approaches. And yet, here I was learning both at the same time, and it felt like a war on the inside. But I also knew that integration was going to be possible. There was a moment where, with my study group of the people in my master's, where I, quote unquote, came out of the spiritual closet. And I remember my heart beating so fast and being so afraid of being judged or perceived as non-serious, perceived as naive and Pollyanna-ish, because I engaged with this world of the subtle, this world of the energetic. And because it seemed to me, and I have no idea if this is true or not, because it seemed to me that these were serious people, that they would not engage with this world. But now, 10, 15 years later, I see it differently. I wonder if this facility, this ease with the world of the woo, this need for some language and some structure around the world of the energetic, of the subtle, of the unseen, or before it is seen energetics. If that's not what serious people, quote unquote serious people, actually crave and need, because there isn't agency to it. It's not fully clear for me. I'll admit I'm struggling with this episode a bit. But if you're willing to hear me out, I think we could get somewhere really deep together. So I believe that, I truly believe this. I believe that intuition really isn't a floaty, flashy thing. It's actually a feature, a part and parcel of what happens when we're really deeply embodied. We are trusting ourselves when we're living from the inside out, energetically integrated. We're working on healing. I believe that is the inner reality that needs to exist to allow us to see plainly what is real, what is here. Intuition is simply is that. It's being able to see clearly what is in front of us, including the invisible, including the subtle, including all of that. And when we're able to see clearly, we're able to navigate better. But intuition can also be deeply creative and predictive. Can also see clearly what's happening, see clearly trends, see clearly pattern recognition, and see where things are headed. And does a third thing too. It gives us a vision of what is possible, what might be able to happen if we play our cards right. And it's that feature of intuition, of that deeply embodied intuition, where we're able to tap into exactly what is, but also what could be, and the bridge in between. Maybe you don't see the whole bridge in between. It feels unknown. That's why it feels like an intuition. This is possible. That is a foundation for leadership. If you're a leader without any woo, with any imagination, with any capacity to intuitively project a different future, you're not much of a leader at all. So if you're afraid of being woo, I wonder if you're afraid of your own leadership. That is at the core of it for me, I think. It is coming into a system and saying, I respect what you are all doing. This is very amazing. And the way my sensitive nervous system and my intuition works, I believe this can be done better. And that is disruptive. And that is uncomfortable. And that is something that we might want to swallow. It is something that other people might not enjoy. Who are you coming in with your woo-woo, this could be better and different? And yet, doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it untrue. And if you, like me, have like that inner spark, that inner fight in you, I really believe it's because there might be something that you are seeing, something that you are sensing, something that you are, in fact, called to create that will require some leadership from you. And as healers, to tie it really back to that, what are you leading people into? You are leading them into their most whole into the most whole version of themselves. The version of themselves with the most integrity, with the most capacity for truth and self-leadership in their own lives. When somebody heals, yes, their body starts working better. Maybe their emotions calm down. But what else happens? This is not something we get to talk about very often. And it is one of the most exciting parts of the healer's journey. When somebody heals, they start making different choices for themselves, don't they? They heal a pattern of codependency. They exit a toxic relationship. Holy shit. They heal a pattern of self-doubt. They start taking more risks in their career. They get more money from it, and they get more impact from it. Somebody heals some thing they've been carrying, ruminating on for years. They heal that, they integrate that. Suddenly, there's so much space open for them to create something positive in their lives. And that is because of the woo, because of the subtle, because of the energetic. So yes, people might eye roll at the woo. People might not get it. People might think you're a bit Pollyanna, think you're a bit naive. But when your intuition is really coming from a grounded, embodied place, it is also powerful. When you're able to name the unseen dynamics, when you're able to illustrate or put words on to what is happening underneath the surface that is creating something, that is power. Because now it becomes conscious. And now the invisible has become visible. And when the invisible becomes visible, now we can do something about it. That is what I'm doing in this podcast. That is what I'm doing in my one-on-one sessions. That is what I'm doing at a very advanced level in my programs. I'm creating language, the scaffolding, the conceptual framework for us to do energy work in a way that stays embodied and grounded, and those eye rolls are simply no longer necessary. Because yes, there are times where we get so wrapped up in our inner imaginations that we do lose capacity to connect that back with what is right here, right now. That, I believe, is the artist's job. And it is so important and so beautiful. There are people out there who can connect really in a woo way to something completely other, possibly further in the future, possibly something in the past, some feeling that's undercurrent, everything, and create a visual representation of it, or an auditory representation of it, or something like that, that gives people feeling, that gives people an awareness, a hit of consciousness that makes something aware. That is incredible. It's an incredible gift. And it doesn't have to make us other. I believe, and this is foundational to my work, is that anybody who is integrated, fully present in their bodies, and healed enough has intuition, but not everybody has the same intuitive capacities. And I long for a world where this is something that is understood. This is something that we have a structure around to talk about. Something I'm offering today. I long for a world where we understand the mechanisms of intuition a little bit better, so we don't need to other somebody who says something we don't understand. I long for a world where people with this kind of intuition are not censoring themselves and getting offered positions of leadership, the ones with integrity in their intuition. Having a scaffolding, having an understanding of how the world of the energy works and how your intuition works within it, having language for it is, I believe, the way where we integrate these two things. Your ability and your facility with the world of the woo and your deep commitment to the world as it is, working within it. You are not here to be a mystic in the woods. You are here to be, I think they call this a householder. You are here to bring that healing work into this actual world. And that is a sacred calling. I love it when my clients bring what they're doing, what their work is in their classrooms with children. I love it when project managers start working differently. I love it when social workers do their work a bit differently because of this, and they hold their intuition differently, and they move differently, and they ground things differently. So I invite you to check, how are you receiving all of this? I know it's a bit conceptual, but I'm hoping there's a deeper transmission here of like, holy shit, there might actually be a pathway for me to stay as grounded as I am, as connected with people in my life as I am, and claim that I am probably a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more intuitive than the average person around me. And that doesn't make me other. It doesn't make me weird. It makes me have a tool for leading us into the unknown, maybe better than the next person. And as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. You continue working on your integrity. You continue working on your own healing, to use that wisely, to bring people into that unknown in a way that feels safe, that feels beautiful. So let's move into a bit of an integration here. I'm going to name that I am deeply in a process of integrating this. These are new ideas for me as well. although they are also very old ideas and it informed my work from the beginning. I'm going to name that I truly and deeply long for a world where the energetic and intuitive gifts aren't labeled as other anymore, because that's what the woo label is in some ways, making you special, making you different. And you are special and different. It is true. But I want us to be able to continue having belonging as our difference is respected and made use of. If this resonates with you in a big way and you are one of these people who has that fight inside of really being connected to the world of the energetic and also really being committed to what I'm calling inside myself, quote unquote, the serious people in your life with this quote unquote serious job. People who have jobs with like very clear rules and scaffolding and structures, a grounding around them. My invitation to you is to ground so extra, extra, extra in yourself, root extra, extra in yourself, that that intuition becomes easy to name, easy to claim, easy to lead with. And I believe when we do this, quote unquote, serious people actually want our leadership. They actually want a taste of this. I believe this is something we are all starving for. We want it so bad. So yes, if all of this resonates deeply with you, I believe my work is for you. I believe Healer Awakened will help you have the scaffolding, have the framework, have the vocabulary for you, how you hold your energy and your intuition as well. Healer Embodied, if you are on the path of becoming a healer, will offer you a grounding and a confidence building in actual doing the work and actually day by day by day by day claiming your sensitivity as the superpower for healing that it is without getting burned out. So to close, just giving us all a big blanket permission of we get to belong in the world as it is, and we get to lead, and we get to weave both the world of the unseen and the world of the seen. This has been The Healer's Journey. I'm your host, Inge Brower. Music has been by Lana Chakra. I hope to see you in the next episode.